Hello, good evening. Happy Tuesday to you. Welcome to Tuesday, and it is live with Gotham Quilts. I'm Allison, and behind the camera making all the magic happen is producer Ken, and we are from Gotham Quilts. So, welcome. I hope that wherever you are staying warm and staying safe because in Minnesota, boy, it is very, very cold. I think what were we at today, Ken? I think a high of 3, maybe 8, something like that. Definitely single digits, and it's only going to get colder. But as they said on the news, we are 53% done with winter. So hopefully that gets us over the hump and across to the other edge. Today we've got kind of an interesting show. It's something that people have been asking for quite a while, and I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. But that is the quilted sneaker class. So I've got a couple of examples here, but we're going to talk all about the things that you need to know for the quilted sneaker class. And I am very happy and very pleased to announce that we have launched, or we have filmed, or we have, I guess it's becoming available, our online virtual version of our class. We've done an in-person version here in Minnesota, and we will continue to do that. If you are local to the area, or if you're even nearby Iowa, any of the Dakotas, we've had people coming from Wisconsin, or if you're a little bit farther than that and you just want to make a trip to Minnesota, we do have in-person classes. And I'll actually go ahead and put the QR code for those up right away. So if you're local, or if you want to take a trip to Minnesota, we've got the in-person sneaker class. We've got a handful of days available. So just either click on that QR code or scan it. I also found that if you're on your mobile device, you can also take a picture of this, so like a screenshot. And then if you go into your pictures, you can click on that and it'll bring you right to the link. But lots of different ways to find out about that in-person quilted sneaker class. So if you're looking for a little more hands-on attention, we have an amazing teacher, Lisa, who goes through the quilted sneaker class. And these are actually her shoes right here with the fabulous Tula Pink ribbon pack. There are so many fun things that you can do with these sneakers when you make your own, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. If you're not from Minnesota, oh, and I will also say that we have some classes that are outside of the winter. So if you'd like to visit Minnesota in maybe a slightly nicer time of the year, we've got some classes available for you too there. We have, oh my gosh, somebody made quilted sneakers in April and got the best compliments. If you want compliments on your footwear, this is the way to do it, because you can get really very cute, very creative, and very personalized with these sneakers. We've had people who have made the sneakers for a wedding, for example, and they were all in like white, beautiful lace. So you can get very creative with those when you're making your own. Let's talk a little bit about the basics, the things that you need to know for the quilted sneaker class. Now, I will say, let me use kind of more of a generic example of this. The quilted sneakers, as they are really, I would say, fairly approachable in that you are making it in, we'll call it, two different pieces per shoe. You're making the upper part, which is the part that goes around your foot, and then you're making the toe box and into the tongue. So you're basically quilting two different pieces to make your shoe. And then to get it attached to the base, you are just hand stitching all of that. Now, so like I say, it's pretty approachable. You do need some tools to it, but I wouldn't call it specialized tools in any stretch. That's kind of the nice thing about taking our class in person, is that you get to use our tools, especially if you're going to make, maybe a single pair of sneakers. But even if you get the tools yourself to use for your shoemaking journey, they're not really that expensive, the specialized tools that you need for that. And then just think you can make all the sneakers you care to. So let's talk about some of the offerings. I've talked about the in-person class. We also have the virtual class. Now, the virtual class is the listing. Oh, actually, here it is. The virtual class is starting in March. And so you'll have access to it in March. I'll tell you a little bit about that, and then I'll tell you, if you want to go your own way, if you're ready to make your sneakers now, we've got a great option for you too. But let's talk about that class for just a second. The virtual class will be 100% on demand and virtual. There are a series of videos designed to get you started on your shoe journey. And what I love about this is our virtual classes are taught by Lisa, who is our shoe instructor, our shoe guru, if you will. And she's been through about a year of shoe teaching classes at this point. She's taught so many students and has made a bunch of pairs of shoes. She's really fine-tuned all the specialties. So she's prepared in this virtual class all of the questions that she's seen about making shoes, kind of the special cases, things you need to watch out for, pitfalls. And so all of those are going to be prepared in that. In addition, with the virtual on-demand class, you'll get access to all of the videos that walk you step by step how to make your shoes. And you'll also be in our Gotham community. So if you get stuck, if you have a question, if you just want to show off your cool shoes, you've got that Gotham community that will be monitored by the Gotham team and Lisa, the instructor, to answer any questions that you may have. And then we have the opportunity for if there's something that maybe is better suited for a video for her to show people, we've got that option too. So it really is a great way out of the privacy of your own home to take that shoe class and get yourself a pair of sneakers. Now, included in the registration now this is true for both the in-person class and the virtual class, you get a handful of things. Excuse me. You will get in the virtual class, you'll get access to the community. In the in-person class, you'll get access to our instructor and her teachings. You will also get got a little stuck here. You'll get a sneaker kit that's like this. And what is going to be inside the sneaker kit is a couple of things. You are going to get the paper pattern for the shoe of your choosing. Now, this pattern you can see here is over on the side. You have the instructions to make either a high top, like these sneakers, a mid top, which is this second line here, like these guys, or an even lower top, which is the bottom line. So all of those are going to be in here with all of the darts that you need and all the holes for your eyelets and attaching it to the shoe base. So you get the paper pattern. There's a couple pages to that. You will get your shoe base for your appropriate size. Now, the shoe base is going to come in two different pieces. You've got the insole here, and then you've got the base part here. And these two just fit together. And then when you stitch them together, you've got the base that stays down. Now, a couple of things about the shoe base is you get to pick what color. If you've got either really, really large feet or really, really small feet, the two ends of that, white is going to be your best bet. So we've got three different colors. White is going to be best for people with large feet or really small feet. We've got natural, which is this color. I'll get my hand out of the way here. And then we have these guys, which are the black shoe bases. Now, about the shoe bases, you will note either if you sign up for the class or if you just purchase the sneaker kit by itself, that they're going to come in European sizes. And so that's going to be like 37, 38, 39. We found that 40 is the most popular one that equates to, I think, a 9, if I'm not mistaken. But go ahead and check out our quilted sneakers, both in the class and in the shoe bases when you buy them separately. There's a little chart that's going to give you the sizing, the European sizing, how it equates to either a men's or a women's US size. It also is going to give you the measurements of the inside. So if you want to go ahead and measure your foot to make sure you get the right size base, you absolutely can. If you have like Birkenstocks, for example, those are going to be in European sizes and they're very close to these. So if you are a 39 in Birkenstocks, you're going to be a 39 in these too. So just be sure that you are getting the right size for your feet. They feel a little bit like a Chuck Taylor. I wear Converse all the time, and that is probably the closest thing I can equate it to. They do have a slightly wider where you put the top of your foot, toe box maybe is what it's called, but this part right here, it is a little bit wider than normal, but they do just have the one size. They don't come in wide or narrow, so you do get a little bit of extra room here, but very similar in feel to Converse or something like that. But yeah, if you're looking for the sizing, be sure to check out that chart because it's got lots of good information on there. So we were talking about what comes in the box. We took a little detour to tell you a little bit about the shoes here, but you get the shoe bases for your appropriate size, and you also get a little packet that has these two things in it, and this has some waxed thread and also a saddler's needle. And the saddler's needle is really very special because it's got a larger eye to handle this thread, and it also is relatively thick and very sturdy, because what you're going to do is after you quilt the cool looking part of your quilted sneaker, you are going to hand stitch it using these things to the base here. So you're going to get everything you need to, I guess you'll get the basics that you need to make your sneaker, your quilted sneaker. Now you can get really quite creative with this. We've got a, let's see here. I'm going to link to it in the chat here, but we've got a video that talks a little bit more about the fabrics that you need to use, any kind of special interfacing that you need. Oh my gosh, I just saw that Sandra's is watching from Grand Cayman. Oh, that sounds so fabulous. A lot of people wish that they were with you, Sandra, not just for your sparkling personality, but the weather doesn't hurt either. So talking about the shoes, there's a video on there that was put out by our sister shop, Tiny Apple, who's been the one who's hosting the in-person shop, or the in-person classes. Boy, that was a hard word. The in-person classes. And so that video is going to go into a lot more detail about how to treat your fabric and what kinds of fabric that you need. But if you're looking at a shoe like this, the fabric requirements are really very modest. You need a fat quarter for your main fabric. So in this case, it's the gray. You need a fat quarter for the lining, and in this case, it's got this beautiful green. And then you need about a fat quarter to make some bias binding. And yes, it really does have to be bias binding, but there are lots of easy ways. The video that I just linked to has a really easy way. The classes talk about easy ways to make bias binding. So with a shoe like this, 3 fat quarters are all you need. Now, I had an English teacher a long time ago who said the best buildings have the biggest foundations. And I like to believe that because I've got very big feet. So if you've got larger feet, if you are getting like a size 42 in European or larger, a fat quarter might not give you enough space to get your shoe exactly how you like it, especially if you're going to do something kind of in fussy cut. Kind of like we did with this one with the bees, and then on the inside, I think there's a piece of an owl. Yeah. So especially if you are going to fussy cut, consider getting a half a yard or even 5/8 of a yard, and then you can cut on a fold and have the other side ready for some other project. Just know if you're a 42 or larger, you're going to want a little bit more fabric. So that is pretty modest fabric requirements. Now, we have a very, very smart question, and that is, you need some other tools too, right? So yes, there are a couple of things that you will need to make your shoes. So I talked about the thread and the special needle. You are going to need some hole punches. And the first set of hole punches you're going to punch out from your pattern, and then the second set you're going to punch out from your sneaker. The pieces that you need a 2mm and a 4mm. And I really wouldn't, the two, actually, they're both not really negotiable. The 2mm is down at the bottom here, and you want to make sure that you use 2mm because you don't want big holes in the bottom of your shoe. And then the 4mm is for the eyelets here. Now, yeah, well, I guess we'll leave it on. So the eyelets where your shoelaces go through. This one, you probably could get away with a larger size, especially, but you want to make sure that your eyelets match the size of your punch. The other thing is you'll need an eyelet or a grommet setter, and you want to make sure that that's the same size as your eyelets too. Now, with the class, we go through all of that in a lot of detail. The other thing that I forgot to mention is that we also have this book. This book is included when you register for the class, either one of the classes, either in person or the virtual one. You can also purchase this class separately, which is really great if you are an adventurous person. This book goes through so much detail about how to go from your shoe, from base to a completed shoe. It's a really great reference guide, and it's really great, especially if you, like I say, are a little bit adventurous. Maybe you were born with the How Hard Could It Be gene. With this book and a sneaker kit, you're good to go. You will need those special tools though, like the punches and the eyelets and the eyelet setter. You'll need a couple of things that you could probably find around your household. Things like a hammer to punch some of those things. Needle nose pliers are really very handy, especially when you're working with a needle of that size and going through lots of layers of material. You'll want a little bit of fray check and some glue and a Sharpie and a pencil. I think those are pretty much the tools. So do keep in mind that we do have a lot more information about the exact how-tos, the exact whats. We also have in the listing links to our favorite things. So this is not meant to be a complete list. It's just meant to give you an idea of some of those tools that you'll need to make your own quilted sneakers. But like I say, you can get really very cute here. Lisa used ribbon and just foundation sewed these. If you remember our episode about selvages, our Gotham lives about selvages, it's very much the same process here. Is you are just sewing these ribbons to a foundational piece of fabric and then cutting them out like you normally would. Now, the other thing we didn't talk about is interfacing, stabilizer. So let's talk about that for just a second. You can use either canvas or regular quilting cotton to make your shoes. If you're using canvas, what you'll need on the inside of your shoe is a foam interfacing, a foam stabilizer. We really love the Bosal inner form, fusible on both sides interfacing. We find it gives it just the right amount of structure. It keeps the right amount of loft in your shoes, and it's just really nice to work with. So that is a great one. Bosal inner form is a little bit hard to find. We do have it both online and in the store here in Anoka. I was going to say Minnetonka for some reason. I forgot where I was. Yeah. But we do have it both online and in the store. But if you can't find it locally, a great alternative is to use some By Annie's Soft and Stable. Now, By Annie's Soft and Stable is not a fusible product, so you'll just want to add a little bit of fusible web. We really like the oh my gosh, Steam-A-Seam. The Steam-A-Seam Light is a great one to use if you're using the Soft and Stable, if you don't have a fusible product. If you are using quilting cotton, and I wouldn't blame you if you did, because there's a lot of really cute quilting cotton out there. You are still going to need the same foam stabilizer, the same foam interfacing, but you will want to add a layer of SF101 or Profuse or any kind of woven interfacing to just give it a little bit more stability, a little bit more protection. So if you are using quilting cotton, if you're using ribbon like this, you'll definitely want that extra layer. And you'll want to use that on each layer that you've got fabric on. So in this case, we've got fabric on the outside and we've got fabric, it's kind of hard to see. We've got fabric on the inside there. You'll want to use a layer of SF101, some kind of lightweight interfacing on both sides, both on the outside and the inside. And then the last thing is the binding that goes all around the thing. Usually a fat quarter, depending on how you cut your bias binding, a fat quarter is generally plenty. You do not necessarily need to interface that. So that is the scoop with all of the shoes. Again, just to give you an idea of how approachable this is, especially when you have either us by your side or this fabulous book. The Happy Feet book is a great little reference. And I think it's what, 30, 40 pages, something like that, with lots of great pictures. So we would love to see you in class, either in person or on the virtual one. I'll put that up one more time. So if you're looking for the in-person class, we've got that QR code there. If you are looking for the virtual class, again, that will be opening up in March 1st. Here's that one. And if you just want to shop our sneaker section, we've got there the bases, we've got the interfacing, some of the tools that you might want to add to your cart if you are going to make your own quilted sneakers. We've got that there too. So I'm not seeing any questions, but if you do have any, feel free to reach out. We love talking quilted sneakers. They are such a fun project, and I can guarantee you, you are going to get some amazing compliments when you strut around in these cool guys, right? Well, with that, I think it's time for what am I thinking of? Housekeeping items. We have just a couple of housekeeping items. Last week, we showed you the Prince Charming Deja Vu. That is the newest collection by Tula Pink. We have those pre-orders open again. That line is coming in July of this year, July of 26. And boy, is it cute. We have already started working in our brains on different projects that we can use for that fabric. It's a great line. Very pretty. Let's see here. We also have, I meant to grab one with me. But we also have the last clue for our mini mystery was, I think maybe a week or two ago. It was a great fun time. We still have a couple of those kits available, but I wanted to put this up there to just remind you that we have a new larger mystery coming out. So if you had fun with the mini mystery, or if you missed out with the mini mystery, we've got a larger mystery called Luau, and that is a throw size quilt. I keep wanting to say a regular size or a normal size, but a throw size quilt. So you do get a full finished project with that. So it's a great way to add a little spice, add a little variety to your life. What I love about these mysteries is they are designed very much to either use your own stash or to get one of our kits. Now, we have the benefit of seeing the project all finished when we pick these out, so we know that what we pick is going to look good, but there's a great opportunity for you to use your stash for that. A great way to be notified as soon as that goes live is to sign up for the Facebook group. It's free to join, and you get all kinds of helpful tips and videos. It's a great way to have a little fun and work on a little project. So that is going to start in February, the larger size mystery. And then we do have some room remaining in our collage quilting virtual retreat. So collage quilting is kind of like, I think, the best way to applique, in that it really is designed to be very artistic and fun, and it doesn't necessarily need to be too precise. Great way to get some projects out. And with that, we've got lots of fun little projects coming up. So if you want to try your hand at collage quilting, just wait. We've got that coming up on a Gotham show in just a little bit here. But speaking of coming up on a Gotham show, you might have noticed that there's a quilt behind me that I didn't talk about. This is a sneak peek of what next week's Gotham Live is going to be all about, and that's going to be this beautiful fabric line behind me that's got such a fabulous story and an even better feel. It's got a really great hand, and I can't think of a better fabric to cuddle up with in a beautiful quilt. Not only is it gorgeous, but it just feels so luscious. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining us on probably a very cold, except for you, Sandra, a very cold night wherever you are across the country. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week, same bat time, same bat channel. That's going to be Tuesdays at 6:30 on the Live with Gotham Quilts. So thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you then, if not before, and I really hope before.